everybody. Sorry about the bad lighting in here. I'm in my room. I'm pretty sure that you already know basically what I'm going to talk about. After Arik was born, from the time he was about 6 or 7 weeks old, I went and had my post-baby checkup basically and got an IUD put in. It was the ParaGard, so it's the copper one. It's not the hormone one. And that's supposed to last for 10 years. I had one put in after Landon was born as well, and that was in for almost a solid 4 years, and we never had a problem with it. Fast forward to this previous weekend, June 10th, ironically is my dad's birthday, I had realized that I was about a week late for my period. Since my periods came back after Arik was born, they've been usually teetering between 30 and 35 days. I had been waiting for it, and I felt cramping and whatnot, and thought, oh, for sure it's coming. I thought about it on, like I said, Friday the 10th, and I ordered from Amazon internet cheapy pee sticks. And so those were going to be delivered on Monday. Saturday comes around, and we are getting ready to go hang out at the lake for the day, the boys and Alex and I. I knew my sister-in-law had a pregnancy test in the bathroom upstairs, so I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just gonna take a test and make sure that everything's okay, and then we'll, just to have peace of mind. As I went to the bathroom and pulled down my pants to pee in a cup, I realized that there was a little bit of blood. This is going to be full of TMI, so if you don't want to hear gross bodily functions about periods and babies and stuff, don't watch this video. It was like that brown tinged blood, so it wasn't fresh, I guess, but I thought to myself, oh, okay, my period must be coming. So I didn't take the pee test, and then by Sunday the 12th, my bleeding pretty much stopped, which I thought was very odd. I'd had a couple other symptoms to kind of make me think maybe I'm pregnant or something, but I have the IUD in, so I didn't want my mind running away from me, basically. So I was like, okay, well, I'm sure it'll start up again Monday. Monday comes around, nothing. So my package was delivered around, I think, 2 p.m. on Monday, and I immediately pulled out the pregnancy test and came downstairs, peed in a cup, dipped one in, instantly positive. And I started to freak out. I'm like, oh my god, there's no way. So I waited another hour or so for another hold on my pee and tested again. I had 25 tests. Instantly positive. I'm like, oh my god, this can't be happening. I have an IUD and I know I have one in. I went to Target and I got a couple of clear blues. I got the digital and then just the plus one, and took those. Both of them instantly positive. The digital one has that indicator on it to kind of give you an idea of where it thinks you are in your pregnancy, and that came back at 3+, which you add 2 weeks to that, so it thought that I was over 5 weeks pregnant. So I started to freak out because I'd had several drinks over the weekend, had no idea when I ovulated, and I just knew in my head, I was like, I know I have an IUD in. A lot of people say that they can fall out and things happen and whatnot, but I know my body, and I know that I would not miss it falling out. I know never say never, but I honestly, truly believe that I would not notice it come out. So I started losing my mind, and I called around. I don't have an OB up here yet, an OBGYN, so I was looking for someone who took my insurance and was accepting new patients, and I finally found one that was about 10 minutes down the road, and he wanted me to come in that night for an emergency appointment, is what they're calling it. I wasn't able to do that. We had some plans for the evening. The doctor didn't sound overly concerned, but he did say sooner the better, but 24 hours isn't going to be the end of the world for it. Looking back on it now, I kind of wish I had gone in earlier that night, but I needed time to tell Alex and everything too. Alex went to the gym. When he came back, we put the boys to bed, and I showed him the test, and I just lost it. I started bawling and freaking out, and surprisingly to me, he was very calm and very kind. And he said, we did what we were supposed to. We were responsible, and there's no need to worry about it. We'll take care of everything, and everything's going to be fine. And next day comes around. Alex is able to get off of work early enough to come with me to the doctor's appointment. When I get to the doctor's office, I am asked to give a pee sample and realize that there is some more like brownish, pinkish tinged blood in my underwear. I'm like, oh, great. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to, you don't want to bleed while you're pregnant. That's just not what you want to see. Gave him the pee sample, go into the room, tell the doctor what's going on. He suspects that the IUD was just irritating my cervix because apparently the IUD had shifted in my uterus and it was really low towards my cervix instead of up in the uterus where it was supposed to be. He said that even so, having the IUD in my uterus was supposed to prevent pregnancy, even if it wasn't positioned correctly. So he is still kind of confused about that. By the way, he had never had a patient come in before in his practice where the IUD was still in place and the patient was pregnant. So he was kind of intrigued, I guess would be a good word for it. And the whole office knew who I was. Oh, you're the girl who's pregnant with the IUD. So if you want to have celebrity status at the vagina doctor, he had me go for a blood test to check my HCG levels. They're supposed to double every 48 hours if the pregnancy is going properly. I think after like 6 or 7 weeks, it goes to like 96 hours. The plan was for me to Tuesday have the blood draw and then Thursday, which is today, have my second blood draw. He said he estimated that if the pregnancy was going as he planned, it would come back between like 500, 1,500, maybe even 2,000. And then if it was doubling by Thursday, which we would find out Friday, then we would schedule an ultrasound for the following week. Yesterday, Wednesday, I waited around the whole day, like just freaking out. I felt like, I don't know, I kind of wish she would have done an ultrasound the day that we went, Tuesday, but I understand why he didn't. I just felt like I left with so many more questions and concerns than when I first went in, but at least I had the IUD out now. So I was doing everything in my power to keep this baby. Yesterday morning comes and goes, I'm attached to my phone, put the boys down for their nap, and Lana goes out to play with his friends, and I just decided, okay, well, I'm just making myself sick with worry. So I was going to take a nap. I was napping for maybe like half an hour and I got a phone call from the doctor. And he said, okay, well, your numbers came back at 6,500. And I went, oh my God, that is so high. He goes, yeah. So we're going to try and get you in for an ultrasound today. I'm like, oh my God, wow. He said, maybe you're a little bit further than we anticipated. So we'd like to just check and see how everything's going. So to me, that sounded like good news, and I was so relieved. And I called Alex. I was like, you gotta come home, because we gotta go to this ultrasound, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. He was pretty excited, too. So we get to the ultrasound place, and I'm anxious and excited, and then I started getting nervous. And I went to the bathroom while I was waiting, because they said I needed to empty my bladder. And there's bright red blood. And I was just so, like, my heart sank. I'm like, oh my God. So, ultrasound tech comes and gets us, and they do the, on the stomach ultrasound first, and we don't see anything. And she goes, well, you should be pretty early still, so maybe we'll do, into the actual vagina canal ultrasound, and we should be able to see something then. So, we switch over to that. As I go into the bathroom to change into the robe that she gave me, I had heavier bleeding, and it had clots, weird looking clots in it. And just in my head, I knew that we weren't going to see a baby. I just knew it. So my fears were confirmed that she spent so much time, at least half an hour, sweeping my uterus with this ultrasound, trying to find something, anything to maybe give us some hope, and we couldn't find anything. She's not allowed to talk about it because she's not the doctor, but I just knew. So after that was all said and done, I went to the bathroom, and more clots. Got myself dressed, and then we went to go see my doctor and talk about the results of the ultrasound. So he believes that I either have an ectopic pregnancy or already had a spontaneous miscarriage. The fact that I'm not in any sort of pain makes him believe that it's not ectopic, but my numbers were really high for where I was at. So he's not completely 100% sure. So today I'm going to get my secondary blood test like they had initially planned, and I'm going to see if my numbers tomorrow are increasing, staying the same, or declining. If they are declining, then I don't have to do anything further. I'll have to go in for another blood test sometime next week to make sure they're still declining. That just means that the miscarriage is, my body is taking care of it. If they aren't declining or if they have gone up, then I'm going to need to have some more blood tests done to make sure that my insides are functioning properly so I can basically it stops cells from growing and dividing. So it would stop the baby from growing. Obviously it'd be ectopic. And then my body would flush it out. And if it didn't, then I'd have to have a D&C. But we're not quite to that point yet. So I'm anxious. Last night, I'm pretty sure when I went to the bathroom, the few times I did, that at one point there was just so much clotting and weird stuff along with blood. And I'm certain that whatever needed to passed then. And then we get to talk about birth control at the end of all this. So my head is spinning. It's been an emotional roller coaster ride this whole week. It's been such a long week, and I'm so tired. And I am so blessed to be able to have my 3 boys, especially now. They've been keeping my mind occupied all day, giving me a reason to smile. But I'm still very upset and emotional over this miscarriage. It's just not something that I ever planned that I would have to go through, and it's not something that I wish on anybody else. I know I'm not the first person, nor will I be the last person to have a miscarriage, and I'm so blessed to have my 3 happy, healthy little babies already. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching.